New Vegas is a land chock full of blossoming commerce. The last true red-blooded, brutally capitalist location in post-apocalyptic America. The land of the Cazador and the home of the house, it is a desert that truly captures the patriotic spirit of a late-stage capitalist nation. A desert of new competition. A place where you can buy and sell virtually anything, from food to alcohol, from scrap to constructs, from prescription drugs to non-prescription drugs. However, as I scroll through the 15 years of content on YouTube regarding this game, I've noticed one thing. Nobody's giving out those good old Yelp reviews on these establishments. How am I supposed to know if I want my caps to go to a business without someone telling me exactly what I should think? How can I strong-arm these businesses into giving me free desserts without the threat of a poor review coming back to haunt them? Well, my irradiated friends, today we're going to change that. Together we're going to go through a bunch of the Mojave's most established businesses and truly assess just how good or bad they are. Of course, this won't just be willy-nilly. As an ex-Fallout professor, I have taken the time to create a rubric to truly determine just how many stars these businesses will receive. The categories are: cleanliness, how clean and tidy is the place? Next is product, what are they selling and how good is it? If it's food, is it good food? If it's alcohol, am I instantly gonna go blind just like that good old West Virginian hooch? Then comes customer service, pretty straightforward. Are the people who operate the establishment welcoming and friendly, or just looking to scam and make a buck? Then comes location, how accessible is it? Can I waltz into Vegas and make my way there, or am I gonna have to sneak through a Deathclaw nest just to buy my Newports? Lastly, there's atmosphere, the aesthetic, the layout, the vibe. Is it a cool place or a hole in the ground? Each of these will receive up to 1 star, meaning that put together an establishment can make up to a 5 out of 5. If you enjoy this content and want to see more, please, God, like and subscribe. I am nothing without your approval. Anyways, without further ado, welcome to Diners, Drugs, and to Gun Dealers. Located in the small mining town of Goodsprings, the Goodsprings General Store is a quaint little shop in a quaint little town. Owned by a guy named Chet, this shop has been standing since before the war and is now the lifeblood of the town. For how clean it is, I'm stoked to announce that this place is about as tidy as you can get. Shelves are well organized and stocked, the interior is well maintained and cleaned, and by golly, if Chet just doesn't have one of the most well-kept beards I have seen in the desert, then I don't know a thing. I won't knock the outside too much. The awning is rustier than a 60-year-old who could have gone pro back in the day, but all in all, it's nothing to scoff at. Due to all of this, the Goodsprings General Store receives a full star in cleanliness. Now, this store carries it all. They've got beans, they've got armor, they've got a shovel, zip ties, bone saw, garbage bags, bleach, a rusty car trunk, and an alibi. Sure, some of it's irradiated and the weapons and armor are not super well maintained. The weapons specifically feel like they could break in your hand like the arm of someone who's currently at the bottom of a lake, and the armor is brittle like my mental health after what I did on the 2nd of September 2265. They also won't sell me that damned clock on the wall that keeps ticking back and forth louder than the heartbeat I hear coming from the floorboards of my home. Anyways, this place carries about everything you can need, and some of it has an okay quality. Therefore, I'll give the general store half a star in product. Now, this is where things get rough. Chet's a diehard capitalist. He isn't the most welcoming unless you show him right away that you're willing to spend oodles and oodles of caps in his shop, and don't even think about asking for a handout unless you're prepared to threaten him, as he would rather take a bullet to the skull than partake in charity. Word around town is that he was also in favor of handing over a Crimson Caravan merchant to the local powder gangers to, quote, protect the town. Sounds more like he just wanted to protect his little shop. The little weasel of a man holds money above all else, including human life, and is not afraid to show it. 0 stars for customer service. He's lucky he also didn't end up at the bottom of Lake Mead on the 2nd of September 2265 at 3:20 a.m. with the way he treated me. Location-wise, the Goodsprings General Store is pretty well set up. It's far enough from Vegas that they don't get attention from the Greater Vegas Raider gangs, and they say many NCRs stop by on the way through the town, as it's located right off the path from the Mojave outpost of Quarry Junction. Anyone coming into the area from New California is only a hop, skip, and a jump away from Goodsprings, a good drink at the Prospector Saloon, and some good supplies right next door. Full star for location. Lastly, the atmosphere. The exterior is your run-of-the-mill cowboy town. Looks nice, fits the aesthetic of the town, no complaints. Inside feels cozy. The warm lights from the lamps and the lanterns give it a small cabin feel, and if you get past the constant ticking of that godforsaken clock on the walls and the voices inside saying you're guilty for doing what you did, you can feel safe and right at home here. I give the atmosphere a full star, ending the Goodsprings General Store with a 3.5 out of 5 on Yelp. My review: cozy little establishment with an alright inventory, a shit-eating owner but well maintained and a nice place to stop for anyone who's fed up with the neon lights and bustling streets of the Strip. Would be rated higher if the owner was a little nicer and that clock on the wall wasn't so loud I could feel it ticking behind my eyes. Next vendor. The Dino Bite gift shop is owned and operated by Cliff Briscoe, a very friendly and welcoming man who, unlike a certain beautiful bearded shit-ass in Good Springs, is not opposed to a discount. It is located in the hollowed-out statue of Dinky the Dinosaur, a pre-war toy for kids far and wide, and also works as the town of Novak's watchtower. The shop is clean, or so you'd think. It's tiny, with only 2 rooms. The larger room is the storefront, and it's swept up and organized. The shelves are stocked and tidy, as is the counter. Problem comes from the storage room. Let's just say a friend of mine broke into the back room at 2 a.m. after Cliff went to sleep and checked it with a Geiger counter. Now, the room itself not only carries the store's entire stock, but it's also filled to the brim with pre-war dinosaur and rocket ship souvenirs. These rocket ships glow in the dark, which is cool until you realize they're actively oozing radiation into everything around them, making that room a death trap, and I'm pretty sure I have some form of mutation growing out of my lower left abdomen because of it. I think it's only fair to dock the Dino Bite half a star for that, as half the rooms in the shop are irradiated. Now listen, this directly ties into the last point. Everything in that storeroom is irradiated. The food, the water, the stim packs, the weapons. I'm not opposed to a little pepper on my steak being everything I own and pepper being high levels of radioactive waste, but from an objective point of view, I can't very much appreciate it. That being said, Cliff has access to a few very interesting items. He's one of the few vendors I have found in the Mojave that sells katanas and katana upgrades, and that's pretty damn neat, so I'll give him another half star for product. I just need Cliff to get off my ass about buying some dinosaur plushies because oh my god, do I not give a damn. Cliff Briscoe is a model citizen and a stand-up gentleman. He is kind, cordial, and respectful of any and all who walk through his door. On top of that, he has a deal with the owner of the Dino Delight Inn, Jeannie Mae Crawford, that anyone who visits and mentions her name gets a pretty decent discount on his wares. That kind of cooperation between people is just so refreshing on these unforgiving sands, therefore I will break my rules just a tad and give Cliff 1.5 stars in customer service. Novak is located on Highway 98 North, which is a direct path from Nipton and the Mojave Outpost to the Strip. Not only that, but the shop itself can be seen far and wide as you pass the town, having its silhouette show throughout the area. It's accessible, easily noticed, and also protected by watchmen and walls. The location is phenomenally accessible, giving it a full star in location. The Dino Bite is inside of a literal dinosaur. That alone is awesome. They turned the open mouth of the dinosaur into a watchtower. The shop attempts to sell miniature toys modeled after the statue they are attempting to be sold in. My only issue is that it's damn cramped, but I won't knock it for that. Therefore, the last scoring for the Dino Bite gift shop is a full star in atmosphere, giving them 4.5 stars out of 5. My review says, the Dino Delight is a great shop for any tourist in the area. Great prices, great vibes, a very kind owner. What more could you need? Just beware, the inventory is a tad bit irradiated, but what isn't these days? I must say I was quite impressed with the Dino... Yes, Cliff? Swear if this is about those damn dinosaurs. Yes, Cliff, I was about to plug the... I know they're in high supply. You know what? Have you ever taken a trip out to Lake Mead? Operated by Alex McLafferty, the Crimson Caravan in the Mojave has a long history of trading all over the western United States, and our man on the scene is a guy named Blake. My main goal with this review is really to see if they can sell me anything to help stop this weird mutation from the Dino Bite, but I also want to see what the big deal is with the Crimson Caravan Company. The stall itself is neat and tidy, looks good, whatever, but the real accomplishment comes from the compound itself. Crops, livestock, housing, and admin buildings. All of these are well maintained, organized, clean, and pretty nice. Full star for cleanliness. Now, I won't lie, when I approached Blake to see if he had anything to sell me to get rid of this weird little formless mutation, he was very confused until I showed him. Once he saw the golf ball-sized mass in my stomach, he told me that there was nothing he could do, but he could send in a requisition from anywhere in the NCR to get it delivered with the caravan. On hand, he carries just about everything needed to survive the wasteland: quality weapons, well-maintained armor, a multitude of drugs and medicines, purified damn water. This place makes the Good Springs General Store look like some podunk town's undersupplied one-stop shop. Oh wait, anyways, anything you could want, you can either find here or pay a fee and have it delivered. Not only that, but the Crimson Caravan Company is a no job too dangerous guarantee. Blake also sold me some brain drugs to stop the demons I picked up from Good Springs constantly invading my head, saying I should have been the one at the bottom of Lake Mead. A full star for product. Blake was kind, understanding, if only a little grossed out by the, you know. He was very cool, if only a little pushy when things got busy. Most people in the compound are friendly, no notes, full star. Company's like a 2-minute walk from Freeside's North Gate, literally right outside the strip. It's completely walled in by brick and has guards posted everywhere. Their contracts with the NCR add additional support and protection, and the raider gangs in the area know not to approach the main compound. On top of that, they are a caravan, meaning if you can't make it to them, they can make it to you. Strong location with agents that can move to you is a full star in my book. The vibe of the Crimson Caravan's headquarters is safe and efficient. They are self-sufficient, growing and raising their own food, and tapped into the NCR's water lines. Feels like its own microstate at times, which kind of fits the bureaucratic way it's run. I'll give it its 5th full star, ending the Crimson Caravan with 5 out of 5 stars. My review: the Crimson Caravan is efficient and damn good at what they do, with the promise that they will deliver anything no matter the job, and a kind, if only a little serious person leading the chart. I have no complaints whatsoever. Also, Blake helped me name my little guy. His name is Chumbo, and I'm growing more and more attached to him every day. Right down the road from the Crimson Caravan is the Gunrunner's factory and vendor. Although the factory is off limits to the public, the stall out front is all you need to do business. The vendor stall is built around their vendor robot, meaning everything in there has been untouched by nature for a number of years. The stall inside is organized and clean. The outside almost gave me tetanus just by looking at it, and the surrounding buildings are not really functional, but they can't control that. 1 star for cleanliness. The Gunrunners, as one could assume, sell guns. Not only do they sell guns, but damn if they don't sell the best guns in the entire desert, backed up by the fact that they have numerous contracts within the new Californian army. They sell it all, brother. You want a rifle you can hunt Brahmin deathclaws and fucking UFOs with? They've got it. You want a handheld chainsaw that would have made the morning of September 2nd, 2265 infinitely easier? You got it. Want a mini nuke launcher that can fire supercharged mini nukes, duplicating them in the process to increase their effective area for your next visit with your mother-in-law? Well, hot damn, my friend, they've got that too. Throw on just about any weapon attachment you could want, all the ammo in the world, and enough fully maintained armor to protect a small army, and they've got their 2nd full star. Listen here, if you're looking for a personality and a vendor, go no further than the Dinobite gift shop, because this Gunrunner's vendor bot is like talking to a brick wall that takes your caps. He does the job. He's not nice, but he's also not mean. He's just kinda there. Reminds me of my ex-wife, if we're being honest. The security around the factory is pretty damn rude, and will shoot you if you take one wrong step. Pretty tense, so I'm gonna knock down customer service to 1/2 star. Get in and get out is my best advice for shopping here. The Gunrunners are located right next to Freeside's East Gate, which also gives them direct access to the strip and all of the tourists going to and from. Having their vendor stall right in front of their Mojave factory is an insanely smart play, as the only wait they really have for restocking is waiting for the items to be manufactured. Full star for convenience both in getting there and for inventory. There ain't much here in terms of atmosphere, to be honest. It's a hut with a robot inside. I won't lie, there's glass in between you and the robot too, so I'm not entirely sure how the Vendortron is supposed to give you what you buy and vice versa. The vibe is harsh, brother. Lots of tense people with bigger guns than yours watching your every move ain't the most enjoyable thing. The building itself feels like a hot dog stand for guns, and all I want is to see what's behind those factory doors. Maybe my friend will have to pay a visit late at night when the workers are asleep. Anyways, 1/2 star for atmosphere, landing the Gunrunners with a 4 out of 5 stars. My review simply says, great stock, great location, scary guards, don't misstep and you'll probably be fine. So, after stopping by the Gunrunners, I noticed that my brain pills were actually starting to make the voices worse. Pairing that with a small hand beginning to grow out of Chumbo has convinced me to search for more alternative methods to help my problems. Enter Dixon's Jet Shop in Freeside. Dixon's business is set up on the side of a road. No tables, no storefront. He is leaning up against a wall and gives you his supply from his jacket. Since he is the store, I will base the scoring on his appearance. Now, I know things are hard out there, but the man has a very thick layer of grime and what I can only assume to be fecal matter on his body. Pairing that with the skid marks and oil stains all over, and I can only assume that his product will be equally as disgusting. 0. It's drugs. Jet, fixer, liquor, I hardly know her, all the things that take your mind off the fact that this world sucks. When I talked to him, he told me that his new special brew of Jet would cure all of my ailments, so I bought some at a premium price and got excited. Of course, asking around town revealed very quickly that his shit is poison. No, not like all drugs are poison, I mean it is literal poison. I'm also not convinced that his liquor is not just repurposed piss. 0 stars for product, but I'm still gonna try this out later. Dixon is properly named because this guy is a dick. On multiple occasions, he called me names such as a sorry sad sack or jackass or murderer. He will berate you if you don't stop by him to purchase something, and then berate you for purchasing something. He also loves watching drug addicts enter withdrawals, all around a terrible person. 0 stars. Shockingly enough, he has the perfect location. Right next to Freeside's East Gate, he can catch anyone going into Mick and Ralph's. Very accessible, normally a full star for location, but knowing who the man is and what he peddles, I'm actually gonna give him 0 stars. If he were hard to get to, it'd be a full star. It's Freeside. Criminals and junkies, tourists, and bodyguards. This place kinda sucks. He doesn't help. In fact, he's probably a big reason why Freeside sucks so much. 0 stars, netting Dixon 0 out of 5 stars overall. My review: do not, under any circumstance, come to this vendor. You will die. This is not an exaggeration. Your life will end one way or another if you purchase from this man. After dealing with his business, I took his special jet mixture. It was like someone loaded a vape with copious amounts of hard drugs and flavored it with burnt coffee, the gunk from a kitchen sink, and a moldy banana peel. I could feel my lungs blister in real time, and the only reason the voices stopped was because I completely blacked out like a tough night in a casino. When I woke up, I was holding Dixon's hand. No, not in that way. It was only his hand. I was on a boat on Lake Mead. It was nighttime, Chumbo had fully materialized into a third arm, and Dixon's jacket was strewn over the back of the passenger seat. You're welcome, New Vegas. I think I did something good. I returned back to Freeside the following morning to check out a fan favorite in the area, Mick and Ralph's. The interior was a little grimy, as to be expected in Freeside, with a lot of stock thrown around. The shelves were full, so everything else kinda just had to be placed wherever. Wasn't the tidiest, but they make do with the space they have, half a star for cleanliness. Where they lacked in the clean aspect, they more than made up for it in the product aspect. These guys have everything. In fact, some things I actually recognized from people I have taken to Lake Mead, so that's concerning. Anyways, when I approached Mr. Mick, he told me that word was getting around of this little Yelp adventure I was on and offered to show me some of his special supply. These crazy guys have a hidden room in the back of the store, an arsenal full of some serious firepower that rivals the Gunrunners. I picked up one of those handy-dandy handheld chainsaws for, gardening, and then bought some basics from Ralph. Their stock is insane, and I can see why these guys are so beloved and respected in this town. 1.5 stars for offering me some very interesting items. These guys were bona fide salesmen, and with that came a charisma that could rival Mr. New Vegas himself. As previously stated, they instantly showed me some better stock, and the best part was they didn't ask any question when I brought up the idea of zip ties, chlorine, garbage bags, and fake paperwork. In fact, I think the freaks actually got excited. Whatever that was about, they earned another full star for service. Location will be quick. Same as Dixon, they are right next to Freeside's East Gate with bodyguards outside and neon lights advertising them. Full star. Last but not least, these guys give off a vibe that they are here to make a profit, but aren't looking to screw you over on it. Their mostly kind demeanor makes you feel welcomed, and their store is cluttered but spacious, making it feel like a true pawn shop. Full star, giving them 5 out of 5 stars on Yelp. My review says Mick and Ralph's is a great shop with an incredible stock. These guys know their business to a T and aren't afraid to talk you up to get a deal. Anything you're looking for can be found at Mick and Ralph's, and I mean anything. Anything. As I was leaving, Mick shouted at me and said, "See you on the water." I wonder what all they've seen. Found outside of New Vegas' walls, the New Vegas Medical Clinic offers low-cost or no-cost medical operations to the less fortunate of the area. You would expect a medical clinic to be clean, right? Well, not this one. Debris all over the floor, pools of blood on tables. I would be terrified to get any work done here. At least their tools look somewhat sterile. 1/2 star. Now what they're doing here is admirable, and since the followers of the apocalypse own and operate it, you know their medical knowledge is correct. They offer more serious medical procedures as well as cybernetic enhancements. Naturally, I opted to purchase the Logic coprocessor to hopefully help stop the voices, but all it did was make them smarter and give them some really fucking annoying posh British accents. The procedure was quick and painless, but I fear the prolonged damage might bite me in the ass one day. All in all, a clinic with a purpose offering state-of-the-art tech. Full star. Dr. Usanagi, the clinic's head doctor, is very professional and dedicated to her craft. She is upfront about any questions you may have and shows her concern for every patient that walks through her doors. Upon seeing my little buddy Chumbo, she quickly screamed and rushed me to an operating table. I told her I was not in the market for stomach surgery, and she asked to at least examine him. He gave a thumbs up, proving he somehow thinks separate from my own thoughts. After a prolonged screening process, she determined that Chumbo would not be detrimental to my health, and we even proved that he could hold and operate a weapon if need be. Upon bringing up the voices, she got concerned, and I quickly backed out after some questioning, as it seems she realized that I may be the Lake Mead murderer. A full star for customer service. Right behind the Crimson Caravan Company, the New Vegas Medical Clinic is a short walk to Freeside's North Gate. Super accessible, protected by all the businesses around it, and a quick and easy full star for location. Not many notes here. It's a hospital, feels like a hospital, smells like a hospital, looks like a hospital, even tasted like a hospital. Can't ask for much more. 1 star. All in all, New Vegas Medical Clinic gets 4.5 out of 5 stars, with my review saying, if you can get past the fact that it's a bit of a grungy building, this hospital will deliver some top-of-the-line services for minimal pay. They are helping everyone they can and doing a stand-up job. As I left the hospital, I will say everyone's eyes were glued to me. I don't know if this was due to the hand growing out of my stomach or the admittance to demons in my head. All I know is that it was no longer a welcoming atmosphere for me. The last business on this list is the Van Graff Silver Rush. Located in Freeside, right across from the Atomic Wrangler, the Van Graffs are a family of gun dealers in direct competition with the Gun Runners. To my complete surprise, the Silver Rush is shockingly clean. Shelves, cabinets, and tables are stocked full of energy weapons, all neatly organized. Floors have been swept, the walls are clean. This shop is one of the nicest places I've been in thus far. 1 full star. Where the Gun Runners excel in ballistics and martial weapons, the Silver Rush is dedicated to everything energy. Incredibly powerful weapons are housed in these halls, from plasma casters to laser RCWs. They also offer a good amount of armor if you're looking for it. If you need something to turn someone to ash or green goop, look no further. This gets them a full star for product. Gloria Van Graff is a lot at first. She's the head of one of the most powerful organizations in Freeside, and she knows and shows it. Her security is massive, all watching you with accusatory eyes, and her head of security, Jean-Baptiste Van Graff, is one of the tallest and most intimidating motherfuckers I've ever seen. They don't mess around, all business, but if you're in their market, you probably are too. A full star. Located on the walk up to the strip, deep in Freeside, you can't get much more protected without actually walking into the strip proper. Numbers of walls, guards, kings, and more keep them safe, and they are so conveniently positioned on the walk up to the Gem of the Mojave that any tourist could easily find them. Full star for that. Lastly, the atmosphere created by the high security and no nonsense nature of the store is a bit much at times. The store is devoid of personality, opting to simply show its wares without any flair or pizzazz. It works for a business, but for the vibe it feels almost militaristic. Probably the vibe they're going for now I think about it. Half a star for not being super welcoming, getting the Silver Rush 4.5 out of 5 on Yelp. My review says, much like the Gun Runners, get in and get out. They want your caps, you want their weapons. Don't overcomplicate that and you'll be alright. The stock is quality and will absolutely do what you expect it to. Very, very solid business right here in Freeside. I'm glad we ended the Yelp adventure on a high note, and I want to thank you for coming along with
FBI, open up!
You NCR freaks, you can't take me! Don't you dare touch something, I will kill you! Get your hands off my peanut! Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We're almost to 10K, and that's really cool. Kind of a big dream of mine, so thank you so much for the support. And yeah, that's it. Remember to tell your mom you love her, or I will. Sixes out.